All right, we're live, I think. I think we're live. We'll see if some people hop in. Usually it takes a minute or two. If you're coming in and you're watching the replay, welcome. Great to have you. And now some people are popping in. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about my online business legal toolkit that is currently open for sale. It is only going to be open through the end of this evening. So cart closes in about 5 hours. And so what I thought I was going to do tonight is answer some questions that people might have about the toolkit and about what we're doing here. And so I have some materials that I can present. I'm going to wait for people to come in. If you could leave a comment and let me know if you can hear me. Also, I'd love to hear where people are coming from, if they were on the webinar last week, if they weren't on the webinar last week, if they have. Let's see. Oh, Shayna's here. Have a great live, Jim. Thank you, Shayna. I appreciate it. And so tell me a little bit about where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from. Let me know, what your business is all about. I would love to hear from you about that. And thank you for letting me know my audio is good. Appreciate that. And just let me know, what questions you have. Now, keep in mind, I give this disclaimer at the beginning of every single live presentation I do, but I cannot give, I am a lawyer. I am not your lawyer. I cannot give you legal advice. So if you're here to ask legal advice, legal questions about your specific situation, unfortunately, I can't answer that. Ethics rules prohibit me from doing that. Trust me, I would love to give as much advice and guidance as I can on these things. But the ethics rules in the North Carolina bar and the Florida bar just wouldn't like that too much, so I can't do that. But what I can do is, answer your questions. Like I said, number one, about the toolkit, and then also I can answer your questions. Just general things. If you've been watching some of my videos and you've got a question about something I said in one of my videos, I'm happy to answer those type of questions as well. So that's kind of what we're going to do tonight. So feel free, if anyone would like to jump in, ask some questions, that's fine. Otherwise, I can start off by kind of sharing what the online business legal toolkit is all about. I can talk to you about who it's for, who it's not for. Basically, what I've done is, a long time ago, like the dark ages, right? No, 5-6 years ago, I decided that I wasn't happy with the way the legal profession was going for me. I enjoy being a lawyer, but I don't necessarily enjoy the way the practice of law is set up for lawyers. And I wanted to provide more value to more people and help out more entrepreneurs. The problem is the legal system as it's currently set up is not conducive to helping solopreneurs and online business creators that are just starting out with side hustles and getting their businesses going. I see Macau says, how are you? What if I haven't filed my LLC taxes yet? What should I expect if I'm late? Probably penalties if you're late. Usually your LLC taxes go with your 1040. So unless you're an S corporation, then you'd have to file a separate return. And that was due in March, I think. So, but anyway, so I was frustrated with the way the practice of law was going. I felt like the system was set up to put attorneys at odds with their clients. The way attorneys make more money is to bill more hours, which is not necessarily great for clients who are looking for good value and good advice. And so I figured there had to be a better way. And so I started my YouTube channel. I started creating a lot of content on my YouTube channel, many of you here tonight are probably coming from the YouTube channel. I do have some people that are going to show up probably from Facebook, but for the most part, most of you are going to be from YouTube. And so I started creating videos on YouTube. And then last year, around March, I launched, well, it was about a year and a half ago, I first started surveying people that were subscribing to my channel and learning what they wanted and what they were interested in, and put together the framework for what I call the Online Business Legal Toolkit. And what we do in that toolkit is we turn worried entrepreneurs into legally legit CEOs. And the way we do that is through the 4 pillars of our lock it down system, which includes setting a proper legal foundation, getting your online presence secured, getting your contracts in place, and making sure that you keep your IP safe. IP being your intellectual property, trademarks, copyrights, things of that sort. And so that's what we started doing. And I first launched the program and had a lot of positive feedback when I first launched it about a year ago. And then we've kind of been launching it ever since, about once every month or once every other month or so. We've been launching it and bringing in new clients. The pricing has slowly gone up. When people first joined, it was very low. I wanted to get people in. I wanted to figure out what they wanted to do. I wanted to get feedback from people. We've slowly risen the price, and we're at a point now where going forward, we're going to be breaking the program into 2 separate parts. And so we're going to be breaking it into the toolkit itself, which contains a lot of templates. It contains video tutorials on how to set things up properly, how to set up your LLC, how to get your trademark done, how to do a trademark search, different things like that. We have and I'll show you that in a little bit here inside the toolkit. And then the second component of the toolkit is the monthly coaching calls. And this is where a lot of people get a lot of value from the toolkit, is hopping on those monthly coaching calls. And so we hop on and we talk for about an hour, hour and a half. And once a month, it's a Q&A hot seat type of call with me and the students. And sometimes I will do some presentations. Sometimes, like if there's a time sensitive issue, like we might talk about end of year planning, we might talk about taxes, we might talk about if there's something in the news with like the PPP loans and things like that, we might talk about those type of things. And then we do a second call a month, which is usually with a subject matter guest expert. So for example, we've had in the past several months, we had Rick Mulready, who is an online business coach and podcaster. He came on to talk about how to build an online business. We had Michael King come on last month. He is a financial coach out of Texas to talk to my students about cash flow and setting your business up financially for success. And then I've got some people lined up in the future. Next week, we're going to be bringing on another intellectual property attorney to come and talk about copyrights and trademarks a little bit more in depth. And so that's the type of thing that we're doing in the toolkit. And so we have like I said, the toolkit component, which is a standalone component where you get lifetime access to the toolkit. And then we have the monthly coaching calls that are added on. And as of right now, with this launch, and this is in all likelihood the last time I'm going to be doing this, we are offering 12 months of calls as a bonus included with the price of the toolkit. Moving forward, we're going to be adjusting that. We're going to be adjusting the pricing slightly. And then the toolkit will be a standalone lifetime access to that. And then if you want to add on the coaching calls as well, which is what most people say is the reason they join. They really like the coaching calls. There's some other things that I think people join for as well, specifically the contract templates that I provide with thousands of dollars worth of contract templates. But then the coaching calls is where people really get a lot of value, because they get that access to me to ask questions and to get feedback on what they're trying to do from their business, both from a legal perspective as well as from a practical business perspective as well. Obviously, I've been doing this for a number of years, and I have a lot of experience in the online business space. I pay thousands of dollars a month to an online business coach that helps me learn about these things. And so this is, I can just help feed that information back to my students as well, and provide even more value through those calls. So that's the way the program is set up. I see Wilma says, hi from a faithful follower. Thanks for always being educational, informative content in such an easygoing manner. You're welcome, Wilma. I'm glad to have you on tonight. And so, what I wanted to do, like I said, is answer some of your questions that you might have about the toolkit or about my videos in general, um, and kind of go through that. I have, in case you're interested, which I know some of you are. Like I said, the toolkit is only open till midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time, and then it'll go away. The website to access all the information about the toolkit is on the ticker in the bottom, hawthornelaw.net/special. And um, and so once you click on that, or well, you can't click on that link, but once you go to that URL address, it's going to take you to a sales page. And then if you can click through to the bottom, there'll be a checkout section as well. So I am happy to answer questions that people might have about this. And what I would like to do also is, let's see, I can share my screen and go through some of, let's see if I can do this. All right, so I don't think I can bring the bullet points on one at a time, but I will. Let me share this with you. Let's see if you can see that. So this is the, and that's not a very good, hold on a sec. Let me play this in window and see if that changes this around a little bit. Give me 1 second. I will figure this out yet. This is probably better. Okay. So forget this this first thing. The first 10 people, that is expired. That offer is no longer good, unfortunately, but the secret bonuses are still good. We have a Make Your First 1K Online course, and 12 group coaching calls are going to be included with the price of admission, which is $997. We do offer a full pay plan, or we offer 3 payments of $397 for this. So a lot of questions I get from people are, number one, how long do I have access? And as I started to say before, the way this is going to work is, I'm still trying to figure this out. Let's see. So the way, so in terms of how long you have access to the program, you'll have lifetime access to the program for as long as I offer it. For the toolkit itself. That includes my Lock It Down legal protection system. That includes my intentional verification system, which is a system of checklists that we use to make sure that your business is completely legally protected. That includes the legal templates and contracts that we include in the course. That includes the private Facebook community that we include in the course, and it includes the 12 months of coaching, which is probably the biggest bonus, because I haven't decided on an exact price yet for the 12 months of coaching, but we're looking at somewhere around, on the low end, $197, the high end, $297, probably closer to that $297 a month. So that's about a $3,600 value right there that's included in the cost of the course when you join, if you join tonight. And let's see here. So there's that. Other questions I get from people, what legal templates are included? So we have a privacy policy, which is good for GDPR and the California Online Privacy Protection Act. We have a website terms of service. We have a website terms of sale if you're selling products on your website. We have oodles and oodles of legal disclaimers. We have, oh shoot, my mind is, I'm losing it. I am losing it. It has been a long Monday, folks. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but let's see here. I can tell you exactly what else is included. I should know this off the top of my head. We include a DMCA takedown notice. We include an independent contractor agreement. We include a one-to-one client contract, an operating agreement for your LLC, as well as we've got 3 or 4 other contracts that we are working on right now in the background as well that are going to be included in the program. So there's that. Let's see, what other questions do I have? If I have an offline business, will this work for me? I would say that is a great question that I get from a lot of people. The toolkit, the modules that are in the toolkit will work for any business, online or off. The templates are geared very much towards online businesses, but then there's also templates in there that are good for offline business as well, such as the one-to-one client contract, the independent contractor agreement. And then, of course, if you have a website, almost everybody has a website in their business. And if you have a website, you're going to need all those website templates and contracts as well. The intellectual property module is going to be good for anyone, regardless of the type of business you're in. The how to keep your online presence safe module is going to be good for anyone, no matter what type of business you're in. And of course, everyone needs to have a solid legal foundation. So most of the modules are going to work for everyone. We do, of course, market it as the Online Business Legal Toolkit, but that's not to say that it doesn't work for people that aren't in online business. Let's see. What makes your course different from other templates? I would say it's the number one, the personal attention you get through the DIY calls, but then in addition, the fact that I'm the one that drafted these contracts, and as well as instead of some faceless corporation who drafted them, and I offer all the support for the templates as well. So if when you purchase the course and the templates that come with it, you're going to get the support that comes with that as well, including, like I said, the Facebook community, which is, if you have a question, that's a great place to go and just ask your question if you can't wait for the coaching call that's coming up later in the month. So we are getting, I hope I'm getting all the questions that are coming in. I'm not seeing a whole lot in terms of questions, but that doesn't mean they're not coming. Let's see here. I'm just going to head over to YouTube and make sure I'm getting all the questions, because I'm not seeing a whole lot. But if you do have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Normally we get more than this. Could be because I switched to a new system, although I don't know that for sure. Let's see. I'm not. This is probably going to have me start talking here. This is probably going to have me start talking here. Oh, there we go. All right. So, yeah. So the comments are coming through. We just don't have very many tonight, and that's fine. That's fine. Let's see. So let me take a minute, and I can show you kind of the back end of what's included as well. I think that would be helpful. So once you join, this is what you get access to. Let me see if this will make it a little bigger. Okay. I don't know if that makes it any bigger, but we'll try. So this is what you get access to. It's the, you start with the welcome module, which includes a link to the online business, the Legal Student Center. You're going to get a legal audit that comes with that, a online business legal master checklist that's going to come with that, an overview of the system. I'm getting a question from BMST Group. Can you provide custom contracts per business? It depends. What type of business are you referring to? Let me know. This is something I am in the works. We've got a whole list of contracts that we want to draft and add to the website. And it's going to be based on demand, to be perfectly honest. So that is coming down the pipe. We're working on that right now. But I'd be interested in knowing what kind of custom contracts you're talking about. Module 1 is setting a strong legal foundation, how to do that. So there's videos on how to choose the correct business entity for your online business. There are videos on how to choose, how to form your business entity, an actual walkthrough that goes through walking through your business entity step by step by step. And then obviously there's a template for the LLC operating agreement. Excuse me. And let's see. And then we go into module 2, which is protecting your online properties. And so we talk about how to access your legal documents, introduction to your core website documents. And all of these are, if you can see this in videos, we have a privacy policy template. And then kind of the way this works, this is where you start to see the contracts in place here. I'll go through the privacy policy interview here real quick because this is one of the shorter ones. Some of the other templates are a little bit longer. Business to business and the construction and design inside of, but not exclusive to the hospitality space. That sounds pretty custom, honestly, and pretty niche. So that's probably not a contract that we're going to include in the toolkit. However, we do have one-to-one client contracts. And when I talk about the types of businesses that we're going to be doing these for, we'll have a photography contract. We would have a graphic design contract. We'd have a web design contract, a group coaching contract, those type of things. Construction and design inside of, but not exclusive to the hospitality space. I'm not quite sure. That sounds pretty niche to me. I'm not sure if it would fit into one of those other categories or not. But so the way this is another way that our contracts differ from some of the other services that are available out there. Is we do not. You don't have to download the contract and fill them out yourself. You go through our proprietary document interview system, which allows you to basically put in your information. And I'll just show you how this works. So if we go to XYZ Company LLC, it's going to put in some information here. It's going to, anywhere where there's these green labels, it's going to give you instructions. So like for this question is, do you honor do not track signals on your website? If you don't know what that means, then say no. Which services do you use in your business? Well, most people use Google Analytics, and let's say Facebook ads. If you store customer client information, make the appropriate selection. So let's say we use Google Drive. And then, so like I said, this is one of the simpler contracts. Some of the other ones are a little bit longer. And then once you download the contract, you can download it. And lost my place here. but then you can download it to your computer. And give me a second here. And you can open it up. And once you open it up, it looks like, I'll show you here. Then you've got a contract like this that's all tailored. See, it's got XYZ Company LLC throughout. You don't have to retype everywhere. It's got all the information that you would need in the contract for this. If there's anything you do need to add, we would put it in highlight. We'll highlight it for you, and then go through there. And then at this point, you've got a Word document that basically you can edit to your heart's content. So let's see. I've got some other questions here. Wilma asks, great question. My contracts would concern activities of an online translation agency. I mean, unless there's any there's any rules and legalities specific to what your business does, the one-to-one client contract that we offer is going to be basically, you're going to have to fill out the information in terms of what do you provide and how do you get paid. And so that, I'd say 90% of the information that goes into most contracts is going to be fairly universal. But what you offer your clients, that's going to be unique to you. And so, yes, the contracts, I believe, would work for something like a translation agency. The reason why I have pause at what BMST Group said is because when you start talking about construction, there's state-specific rules that pertain to those type of things. And so that's a much more specific business to business. We're talking about larger businesses. In all likelihood, we're talking about businesses that have their own lawyers who are going to be negotiating these contracts as well. So that's a different situation than what Wilma is talking about. Online translation agency, maybe Wilma, you might offer your services to people to translate. I'm not sure what you translate, books, documents, web pages, whatever it might be, and you would charge a fee per page, per word, per however you might do it, and that would be included in the contract. That would be a much easier thing to customize with our one-to-one client contract. So I think that would work for Wilma. I don't know that I can say that that would work for BMST Group Inc., if that makes sense. So as we're going through here, some of the other things that I wanted to share. All right. BMST says one-to-one sounds good. Okay. Well, I mean, if you think that would work for you, then yeah. I just I hesitate because if you're in a business where you're dealing with big construction companies. I only know this because my wife used to be a construction lawyer, and the contracts and the disclaimers and the liability that was associated with those type of deals was huge. Now, you might be in a different situation. I honestly don't know. So anyway, we have a lot of the legal disclaimers that you're going to need. We have multiple pages of legal disclaimers. We have a DMCA takedown notice if you're collecting information on your website. Wilma says, great, thank you. You're welcome. We have a module on how to store and keep your documents safe and how to protect your website. Then we have in module 3, we have contracts for your online business. Do you need them? An introduction to contracts, must-have clauses for your contracts. These are all video tutorials that we've prepared. And then here we're talking about the one-to-one client contract. And again, there's some assumptions about the contract, and this might be relevant to what BMST Group was saying. This agreement covers only the provision of professional consulting services and not the sale of goods. If you're selling a product over $500, you need a different contract. Now, if you're selling something online, like a course that's a product, that's going to be covered in our online terms of sale. But if you're selling goods, that's different. So if you're selling like a physical product or a digital product, the digital product is going to be in the online terms of sale. If you're selling a physical product, that maybe something through Amazon, that also could be done through the terms of sale. And I don't mean that you're selling through Amazon. I mean, maybe you're selling through a Shopify or something like that. So an online terms of sale is different than if you're selling like boats, for example. That would be a different thing. Or if you're selling large quantities of goods to individual people, where you need, where you've got, freight and different things. So that's how that works. There'd only be two parties to the agreement. The contract and the transaction takes place in the United States usually. So there's some information here about who this contract would work for and who it would not work for. We do include that. We have a walkthrough that talks you through exactly what's included in the contract template. We also have a checklist for employee contracts. We have an independent contractor agreement template. Again, you're going to have important notes and assumptions about the contract here. And then you have a walkthrough of the contract. And then you're also going to have a checklist. So for each contract, you have the template itself, which includes an interview such as I just showed you before with the privacy policy. You have a walkthrough of what's included with the contract, and then a checklist in terms of when you're filling out the contract, what you should include. In the fourth module, we go into keeping your intellectual property safe. We talk about what intellectual property is. We talk about registering your copyrights. We talk about doing trademark searches. We have a long 42-minute video on how to do a proper trademark search. We have a video on how to register your trademarks. We talk a little bit about fair use. And then, of course, we have a checklist for all of your intellectual property and what you're doing with your intellectual property. In addition, we have some bonus videos. We have one on 10 avoidable mistakes that online entrepreneurs make. We have a special video on how to keep your website safe from scammers and copycats if you're worried about people stealing your information. We've got some plugins that you can use and things of that sort. And then we have all the coaching call replays that we've done so far. And these are the first few because we've actually, as I mentioned at the very top of the call, I'm moving away from the coaching calls being part of the course to the coaching calls being a separate monthly subscription fee, which is where we're going with the program. And so I can show you what that looks like. So actually when you join, you get access to all three of these courses. The one in the middle here is the toolkit itself. And then you get your Earn Your First 1K online workshop. And then the group coaching calls now we're hosting in this separate standalone course. And so going back, we've got them from October, December, January, February, March, April, and May it does not look it's been posted yet. It should be up in the next couple of days because we had it last week. But then, like I said, we had an interview with Rick Mulready in March. And then we had an interview with Michael King in April. And this is where we're starting to go with the course. We're starting to add more of these subject matter experts in as well to provide you with even more value on a month-to-month basis as you're building out your online business. Um, so, um, so there you have it. That's the course, and that's what we're offering right now in a nutshell. In terms of value, I mean, we've added all this stuff up. This is probably $11,000 worth of value that we're putting into a course of $997. I can tell you that the pricing of the course, like I said, is going to be changing in the coming months. We're going to be taking the course itself, which will be a prerequisite to get into the coaching. So you can't just join the coaching. If you're like, you know what, I don't really need the course, I really just want to be on the coaching calls. At this point, you have to join the course to get the coaching calls. And moving forward in the future, you're going to need to join the course to also get the coaching calls. So it's almost going to be like a buy-in. If you want to join the coaching calls, you got to have the course. And the reason I want to do that is because I don't want people signing up for the calls, asking a bunch of questions about things that are included in the course and then missing out on that. I know you guys like looking at Michael King here, but I will take it back to my lovely mug. So anyway, that's what's happening. That's what's going on. What do you guys have for questions? I should have brought some wine or some beer or something. Normally I do on these evening calls, but I didn't tonight for some reason. But tell me what questions you have here. Anything at all. I'm happy to answer. I realize it's a weird Monday because this was Mother's Day weekend, of course, and so people might have been traveling or doing other things. I'm not sure. Hopefully you all had a good Mother's Day. I know my wife did. Basically the way we do it in our family is for Mother's Day, she gets to do whatever she wants all day and she gets some gifts. So she gets to pick whatever dinner she wants and we make her dinner. She gets to pick whatever breakfast she wants and we make her breakfast. She gets to do whatever she wants during the afternoon. If it means sleeping all day or going for a long walk, or we all go together as a family to go strawberry picking, which is what we were supposed to do, but we didn't. That's what she gets to do all day. And then conversely, on Father's Day next month, I get the same benefits. Should I hire an accountant for my business? I don't know. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. Depends on how big your business is. I would say that when you're just getting started, I mean, it really comes down to your comfort level. If you're the type of person who hires a service like, if you've been working with an accountant for years and you're starting a business and you want to just continue working with that accountant, I think that makes sense. If you're someone who has never worked with an accountant before and you're starting a business and you've always done your own taxes, then maybe you don't need to just yet. Just depends. What the rest of you do for Mother's Day? Anything fun? Everybody's got a mother. I think everybody has a mother. Yeah, and then coming up in the next several weeks, this is always a busy month for us because we've got lots of birthdays. So we had my daughter's birthday was last week. My son's birthday is this week. We've got a wedding anniversary, and then my other son has a birthday in the next several weeks in June as well. So crazy time for us. So I am happy to answer questions. I'm happy to stay on as long as people would like me to, as long as this is being helpful. I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions come in, so I'll give it a couple more minutes, but if I'm not seeing a lot of questions, I'm probably going to hop off the call. Even though I'd love to stay and chat, I blocked off a couple hours for this, but we'll see. So what other questions do people have? I know there's a delay between when I talk and when YouTube posts the question, but what is it? Is the weather outside? Is it getting too nice out and people are not home doing stuff now that the weather's turned nice and people are getting vaccinated and people are going out and enjoying themselves? Hopefully that's the case. So, all right. Well, listen, this has been great. Wilma says, my parents are visiting from Amsterdam. Great Mother's Day. That's awesome that they could visit, Wilma. I am happy to hear that. Hopefully Europe is going to be opening up here in the next month or two, a couple months at least. My wife and I want to go and take the kids. We actually honeymooned in the Netherlands, and let's see, where'd we go? We started in Amsterdam, and then we went to Baden-Baden, which is in Germany, and then we went to the Black Forest area, and drove through the Black Forest and stayed in an Airbnb. It wasn't an Airbnb back then. But yeah, we had a great time on that little adventure many years ago, back before I had gray hair. So anyway, all right. Well, listen, I think we're going to hop off. I'm not seeing any more questions. The numbers are dwindling, which is fine. Wilma says, I have the LLC in place since 2019, however, then paused and picking up now, so all contracts needed. Well, we've got a bunch in the toolkit. I'd highly recommend you check it out. If you were to purchase I will say this, if you were to purchase all of the contracts that are in the toolkit a la carte from my website, you'd be spending several $1,000s. Yeah, Wilma, the toolkit, if you go to hawthornelaw.net/special, that's the toolkit that I've been talking about. It's the online business legal toolkit. In fact, one more thing I'll do before I hop off. So if you go to that link, that hawthornelaw.net/special, give me a second. Since Wilma asked. So if you go to the link that's there on the page, I'll also include a link in the description. It's going to take you to this page, and you can go through and read all about what's included with the toolkit, and what other people have had to say about the toolkit here, in some of the testimonials. And then, like I said, we have a $9.97 version or a $3.97 version of the toolkit. And so basically, once you click on that, it'll take you to this page, which is the checkout page. And actually, one of the things that I included also as a special bonus, which I almost forgot to mention, is the 30-minute legal strategy call. Right now, it's $2.99 for a 30-minute strategy call with me. You can add that on to your purchase of the toolkit, regardless of if you go with the $3.97 first month's payment or the $9.97 full pay option, which saves you about $200. You can add on the 30-minute legal strategy call for an additional $200. You save $100 off of that if you join. So anyway, so that's what's included there. And yeah, like I said, it's only available for another 4 hours. You can see there's a sign up, or there's a deadline here at the bottom. You can't actually see it. Let me see if I can take the banner off for a second. If I take the banner off there, you can see the deadline at the bottom. It's only good for another 4 hours, and then this is going away until the next time I launch, and I have not decided the date for that yet. I have to talk to, well, I've got to think it over. Like I said, we've got a lot of events coming up this month and next month. And so I have to plan this out and figure out when the next opening is going to be to launch this again. But like I said, we launch it about once every other month or so, every month, month and a half, every other month. It just kind of depends on the season. Um, and So yeah, this is all the information you need to know, and then this is the checkout page, and uh, yeah. So would love to see you in the toolkit and have you there. I'm excited about bringing on some new folks with the toolkit this session. So let me know if you have any other questions. I'm going to look and see if we got any more comments. Wilma, thanks you for being on. A pack of old ladies, thank you for being on. Although your image does not look like a pack of old ladies, but that's okay. BMST group, thank you for being on. Yeah, so I am going to hop off now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight on this short little live Q&A webinar, and look forward to seeing you in the program.